Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me. So, House Rep, I think his name Byron Donald, was on the Breakfast Club the other day, and he truly embarrassed one of the hosts on that show with facts about Kamala Harris. He's literally pulled out of his jacket a list of receipts on Kamala Harris as being the tie-breaking vote in the Senate that has something to do with what's called the American Rescue Plan or something like that. Here, I have a audio clip. It's only like a minute of that actual interview, podcast, whatever you want to call it, he did on the Breakfast Club. I don't watch the Breakfast Club. I've watched clips of it. I've heard some things that Charlemagne, and I'm not going to say the other part, have said because he's not that to me. Yeah, I don't even know why he has that title. Why? Yeah, that show is nothing more than a leftist talking gatekeeper show for the way I see it. So I may listen to some clips every now and then, but nothing really extensive. Okay, it gets aggravating because he had Larry Elder on there, and I did a video with Larry Elder spanking Charlemagne. I mean, bad. I mean, giving flat facts like it was like. And what does Charlemagne do? He just overrides everything that Larry Elder said. And it's like, I'm not going to even say it here, but it was something real. It was something real contrary and mean spirited. And like, did you hear what Larry Elder just said? You nutbag. Did you hear what he just said? Lord have mercy, help me. Help me to be professional. Help me to be nice. Okay, but anyway, I have a small audio clip of Byron Donald's here. I'm sorry, did I say Byron Harris? Byron Donald, who is by the way, incidentally, he's black. So that might help some people that's watching this video that may be black. But he's a Republican, okay? So let's get in on this audio clip here and see what he has to say.
To excel
By Kamala?
Yes.
Vice president.
Charlemagne.
It's still the president.
Charlemagne, listen, man. When Joe Biden wanted to do his American Rescue Plan, Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate. She broke the tie that started this inflation that has hurt so many people in our country. Everybody listening to your show. It's not true?
First of all, it's the
You sure you want to go there? You sure you want to go
When you
there?
go outside, Congressman, when you go outside
You sure
in
you
your
want to go there?
district,
Okay, let's go there.
You got notes. You got notes, Angela, right?
that's fine. I have notes
I'm
too.
gonna give it.
And
I'm gonna
the
give it to
biggest note I
Charlemagne.
have today
I'm gonna give it to Charlemagne.
is that on
I don't
every
even want to
question
hold
I've asked,
because Angela,
for
hold on now.
for every infrastructure project in your community,
You can go to
should
third
go
page,
out
just
and
to highlight a
thank
portion.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Congress that voted for the American Rescue Plan.
Angela,
That's what should be happening.
Larry Summers wrote an op-ed back in 2021. Larry Summers was the Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton. He was an economic advisor to Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. He said that the American Rescue Plan that Joe Biden wanted, that Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate, would create a massive inflation that we have not seen in a generation. Well, guess what? Larry Summers was correct. You know who also was correct, Angela? I was, because I was in the Budget Committee when they brought the bill. And I said in that committee, it's going to cause massive inflation. That's what happened. So the problem we have in our economy today is that prices have gone up massively. Wages adjusted for inflation is down. People's pocketbooks are hurting.
Now, however way you want,
Party is comprised of.
Yeah, Democrat Party is comprised of a bunch of idiots. However way you want to look at that, however way you want to interpret that, it is what it is. Look, okay. Yeah. This is the major issue in America right now. It's affecting everyone. Whites, blacks, anyone who's living in America to some degree is affected by the high inflation, except people who are super rich. And middle class people, black and white, are not super rich. They're just well off to some degree, okay? But yeah, this brother here, from what I did see and from what I did hear, he just pulled this out of his, jacket and he handed it to Charlemagne, as he said in the auto clip. He handed it to Charlemagne and said, look, man, you can restart reading yourself, bro. You start reading this for yourself. I'm bringing you facts. And see, this is one of the reasons why I don't watch shows like that, because when they invite Republicans and conservatives, from what I know and from the times that I've seen, like I told you guys earlier, when Charlemagne invited Larry Elder, of all people to invite is Larry Elder. a known fact shooter. I mean, what was you thinking, bro? You're promoting the Republican Party. Actually, you're promoting the conservative side. You're really not paying attention to what you're doing, bro. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why I don't like to watch this show, because what they do is from what I've seen, okay, the ones that I have seen, they bring these conservative and Republican people on their show to interview them and to talk with them. At least that's the impression I get. And then when they start giving them facts and data and so forth, it's a problem for them. And I'm not saying that people on the left or these Democrat, Charlemagne and his host, whatever her name was, she was just terrible. The part that I did is she would constantly interrupt them. That's what they do. I'm not saying that Democrats don't have any kind of factual data or liberals don't have any factual data. That's not what I'm arguing. I don't even argue that. It's not even a matter of whether or not, because they'll say things like, the liberals will say blacks still have income that's lower than whites. That's a fact. But what they won't tell you is why. Now, their argument is always, and has always been, the same tired argument. The reason why black people make less than white people is because of systemic racism. That's bull crap. There's no evidence to establish that at this point in time in 2024 America. Most of it is cultural. It is mostly based on what black people value in today's society. Okay, but that's another story, and I digress. Not going to get into the details of that. The point I want to simply say is that every time they have someone, or the times that I've seen them have Republicans on their show or conservatives on their show, they always out talking. They always want to, when they start giving facts, or they'll try to find some way to ignore what they just said. Okay, and that's very frustrating. What that tells me is that you really don't want to know the truth. You really don't want to know the truth unless there's some kind of thing that you do to try to make your show entertaining. Maybe so, I don't know. But what that tells me is that you really don't want to know the truth, or you don't want your viewers to know the truth. Because anytime, and true debates, from what I understand, like the one with soon to be Vice President, but Senator J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, that was an excellent debate, a masterclass on how debate should be done by J.D. Vance, okay? And why do I say that? Because J.D. Vance was fair. He never hardly at all that I can remember during the debate interrupted Tim Walz. He may have said a few things that, but he never, from what I understand, truly interrupted Tim Walz. He let Tim Walz say what he had to say. He didn't get all emotional. He may have given some like facial expressions in the camera, but he didn't get all emotional and angry and interrupting Tim Walz every time he said something. This is what people on the left tend to do. And this is usually the case here at the Breakfast Club. This woman, from what I heard, because that's just a minute of audio play. I heard a longer extended verbiage from her in another video, and it was aggravating. It was frustrating. I got facts too. Well, then let him go ahead and give his facts. If it's going to be a true debate, let him go ahead. Let Byron go ahead and give his facts. Because the brother had his stuff together, just like you claim, sister, you had your stuff together. Okay? Black power, right? Black power. Well, if you all about black power and black empowerment and all this kind of stuff, then let the other side, the conservative side, the Republican side, give their take on black power. Let them give their take on it. Okay, for example, one of the things that she argued was that, is America racist? Do you believe that America is still racist? And he says, I don't, she mentioned all the lynchings and all this kind of stuff that America was found, all this other kind of nonsense, stuff that liberals mention all the time. Then, and Byron responded, and I'm paraphrasing his words based on what I have been able to listen to. He said, I'm not disavowing. I'm not saying rejecting any of those things. I acknowledge those realities. He says, but today it's not the case. He says there are racist people in America, but America in and of itself is not racist. See, that was his argument. Are there racist people in this country? Of course there is. But I would argue there are racist people in this country that are white. There are racist people in this country that are black. There are racist people in this country that are Hispanic. There are racist people in this country that are other races or ethnicities that are in this country that look at other ethnicities and people groups as inferior to them one way or the other. How are any of us going to really fully know that? Who's going to count all the over 300 million people that's in this country, not counting the illegals, but the over 300 million people that's in this country, and say, okay, this person is racist and that person is racist? Not many. Well, not many, if any, okay? So, yeah, it's definitely going to be racist people in the country. And it definitely is racist people in the country. But if the country racist, no. Because right now, America, or rather in terms of opportunities are available to blacks and non-whites in this country in just about every area. If you meet the qualifications, the opportunities is there. If you meet the qualifications, you can do it. We can't argue, well, it's still racist because you didn't let this black person in. That's not always the case. In fact, most of the time, it's not the case. Most of the time, that black person is not let into that particular area or this particular profession or whatever. It's because they don't meet the qualifications. You don't lower the qualifications to bring the people in. By lowering the qualifications, you basically are telling that black person in an indirect way, you too dumb to bring yourself up to meet the qualifications. So we're going to lower the qualifications because we believe in an indirect way that you simply aren't capable of bringing yourself up to meet the qualifications, which is a contradiction once again, because before the 1960s, black people were all the way up there when it came to qualifications. They met the qualifications in particular areas and exceeded the qualifications, even when there was real racial discrimination and real Jim Crow laws and real in-your-face racism. They said, "You're not going to stop us. We're not going to give up. We're going to persevere. We're going to be somebody," and they did. Today it's I failed the math test. I failed the math test because the math test is Eurocentric. It's designed for white people. That's why I failed it. I failed the science test. I failed the science test because it's Eurocentric. That's why I failed it. I got fired in this mostly white job because I'm black, even though I kept coming in late, even though I wouldn't do my job. Even though I got caught smoking whatever when I shouldn't have been, that's the reason why, because I'm black. I'm not making this type of stuff up. This is the type of stuff, unfortunately, a lot of black people say in this country. They use excuses for their own failures. The problem isn't white people. The problem is you. You need to come up with, not anybody watching this, you need to come up to meet the qualifications. And that's the issue. And I agree with Byron on that. Look. The country isn't racist. There are racist people in the country, but the country in itself, in terms of its organization, its constitution, and so forth, and all these type of things, in terms of its infrastructure, it's not racist. The opportunities are available to everyone, okay? If you want it, it's there. You can do it. If you don't want it, if you're not going to put forth the effort to get it, you're not going to get it regardless of your race. I'd be hard pressed to see some corporation or some business somewhere promoting some white person whose qualifications are way down here and they're a total failure, and they're going to overlook some black person whose qualifications are way over here, up here, and even exceeding the qualifications because that person is white. Why would you put your company in such a dismal situation based on race? That would destroy your company. So in 2024 America, I highly doubt that. There's no real physical evidence on a bigger scope, a bigger scale to validate that. So this woman here, the time I've heard her yipping and yakking, constantly interrupting this man, it was ridiculous. I don't see how he tolerated it. And I wouldn't tolerate it. I said, you know what? I'm going to give you these facts and I'm going to leave. And I don't know if he got paid for that or not, but I'd be like, you know what? I know you paid me, but if you keep interrupting me like this, and you paid me to come over here and to say what I have to say, and you keep interrupting me, I'm going to leave, and I'm taking the money with me. I ain't giving it back to you. I'll take your money. Because you being disrespectful. Bottom line. Fair is fair. Fair exchange, no robbery. That's what I had to say about that. Yeah. He did put it on her. He really, based on what I've heard, based on what I've seen, he put it on her. And rightly so. Rightly so. You know, rightly so. Rightly so. All this hooping and hollering and getting upset and all that, that was totally uncalled for. She acted like a big kid based on what I've seen. Back and forth. You're supposed to be a grown woman. You're supposed to be a black proud woman. And here you is interrupting and disrespecting a black proud man simply because he's a conservative, simply because he's a Republican. It's interesting to me how we as black people collectively elevate, promote, and encourage the worst in us. And people who are black men and women who are intelligent, who have good, strong values and intelligent and are independent and out there doing it, getting it, you know, out there getting it, like we always say, we put those individuals down. We put them down. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us, man? We were never like that before the 1960s. We were never like that. You may have had small little pockets, but not like it is now. We celebrate as black people corporately, and I know people think I'm putting black people down. Hey, I don't care. I told y'all I don't get paid for this, so I say what I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. As black people, we put down people that need to be elevated. When are we going to get to the point where we start celebrating black excellence like we used to before the 1960s? When are we going to get to that point? When are we going to get to it? When we really start celebrating black excellence. And I'm not talking about celebrating black excellence as a rapper. No offense to people that want to be a rapper. If that's your thing, do your thing. But that's not all black people like to do. That's not all black people are capable of doing is rapping. I'm sick of that. Okay. What about you? You know, I ain't gonna say using your brain because rapping does require using your brain. It's very intellectual. Rapping is very intellectual. Okay. In my opinion, it's very intellectual, but that's another story. I ain't gonna get into details of that. Very intellectual. Okay. But that's not all black people can do. Black people can be doctors. They can be lawyers. They can be business entrepreneurs. One particular article I was reading some time ago and I wanted to do a video on it, but it just slipped my mind. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to sum this video up. There was this, I think he's an American. The richest black American in the country. I think he's at 10 billion or 11 billion with a B, $billion. One of the richest black man or one of the richest black men in America. And guess what made him that money? He owns a technology company. A technology firm that specializes in technology. That's where the money is. The money is in technology. He's a smart black man. He knows where the real money is, not in social work, okay? Not in just basketball, not just in rapping, no offense, but in technology, commerce, business. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about Byron did here? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you. I'll see you again.